All right, hey, welcome to my channel. I don't feel like doing anything else right now, so I happen to be sitting here, and I figured, I don't know, just got a wild hair, and I was like, I'm gonna take a look at these old baseball cards that I got, and these I started collecting baseball cards in the late '80s, which I believe these are. I don't recall even really collecting baseball cards so much as in the early '90s, so these are now, oh man, old. But I don't even recall what type of players and what type of cards I have. I haven't looked at these in years, but they've been sitting in the plastic, so hopefully they're in still really good shape. Um, and I did this weird thing with my life where I used to follow baseball. I was big into baseball in elementary school, and then I played a year at Little League, and I was like, gosh, this is boring. Wasn't a fan of playing and just kind of fell away from baseball, but I'm just going to take a look through these. There's Dusty Baker. Okay, he's a coach nowadays. He may be freaking retired by now. He's a coach for the Cubs. There's an old Dusty Baker card. So that's kind of what I'm looking for. Is I'll go through these and see if there's any cards that may have value now. So like I was saying, I collected these a long time ago. Ozzie Smith. I doubt that's worth much because it's like a post, like a serial thing. But I'm going to go through these, and then there's Barry. So there's Barry Bonds, and that's the kind of thing I'm looking for. Fleer 1990. And then if somebody's watching this who knows more about it than I do, can say, yeah, that Barry Bonds card, that's worth a little bit. Maybe like 20, $30 or something. And so I've held on to these for a long time. Just never really did much with him. Kurt Schilling. Okay, so recognize that name. Um, though. So if somebody wants to watch this and take a look at these cards and be like, yeah, dude, that Kurt Schilling card, that's worth something. But so, point being, I never myself, after collecting these for a few years and building up a fair enough, type of size collection, I never then followed up with, which, is this like a Topps card perhaps have more value than another brand. And then kind of the big name players, that's easy enough to identify. So these are some guys like I ain't never even heard of. Who the hell's Mackey Sasser? Darryl Strawberry. So that doesn't look like it's in the best condition or the worst condition, but that's Darryl Strawberry, and that might be worth a few bucks. So that's the kind of thing that I'm looking for here. So if somebody knows more about this than I do and just wants to watch this and see if there's anything in there, shout it out. And let me know. But that's something I really need to start doing because the whole point was, one day these will be worth something. And of course, the bulk of them won't be. Um, but, who knows? With like that Darryl Strawberry card, that might be worth something. Go back on Ron Grant. God, I can't remember the last time I even looked at these. This is an interesting type of card. This is not, of course, something that was printed in 1934. This is some kind of something that probably came out of like a cereal box or kind of thing. It'd be worth something if that was like an original from the era card, but it wouldn't look like that if it was. I know that. Oh, it's just kind of interesting. Um, but yeah, it's now. This was late '80s, '90s, now 30 something years old. These cards, and again, Art Howe. No snap. Okay, so Art Howe. That card doesn't look like it's in the best shape. It's got some corner damage there. But Art Howe, if you ever saw the movie Moneyball, he was the general. No, not the general manager. That was Kevin. That was Brad Pitt's character. But Art Howe was the manager of the team. Um, so yeah, he was played by. Oh, criminy! I'm forgetting his name. But yeah, Art Howe, Moneyball. He was in the movie Moneyball. The, it's gonna take me a minute to remember that guy's name. He died. Um, can't believe I'm forgetting that dude's name. So yeah, that's interesting. Art Howe. Philip Seymour Hoffman. Art Howe was portrayed by Philip Seymour Hoffman in the film Moneyball with Brad Pitt there and Jonah Hill. I have an Art Howe card, and I couldn't even have told you that. So that's kind of cool. But yeah, I am certain that 95, 98%. There's one Jose Canseco, 91. Looks like it's in fairly decent shape from my layman's perspective. So that's something that might fetch me like $20, I'd imagine. Maybe. But again, it's a come on, focus, you jerk. Don Ross. I saw it. Might be worth 6 pennies. I don't know. So depending on whether it's Tops or whether it's Bleachers or someone else, seem to have a lot of these Don Ross cards. And when I was in elementary school, I had no concept what I was doing, but it was pretty big at that time. And what I've been told since is that they were just pumping them out. Frank Thomas. There's a Frank Thomas card. That might be a Frank Thomas rookie right there. First draft pick. If that's a Frank Thomas rookie, that might fetch me little bucks. And looks like it's got some damage and I hesitate to pull it out of there even. But yeah, so there's a rookie Frank Thomas card that might be worth a little bit of money. Probably like a $15 or something, but add up enough of those and I'm able to sell these and buy something else. But that's kind of an interesting place where I'm at. I'm paid off my car. Lord knows I've got plenty of student loans to pay off, but there's no sense paying more into those than you got it because you're just always going to be paying them. Um, so I have no immediate bills to worry about. And then one thing, I got a mess city over here, but got some buried in there those retro video games. I got to get this cleaned up. I always say that. I never do it. But that's kind of what, do I sell these and buy retro video games? Or do I just use my paycheck from work to do that and hold on to these for a few more years? And see what they'll fetch, in another 10 years. But there was a period of time where, circa early 2000s, sports cards just weren't going for anything. Wade Boggs might be worth a little some. Wade Boggs, pretty popular guy. But it changes. So just like those retro video games, I would have bought, like Tecmo Super Bowl 2 for $10-15 in 2005, and now it's worth like $200 in crap condition. But collectibles just work like that. So waiting for the right time where enough years go by, and there's that bit in Indiana Jones where the bad guy holds up the glass and he says, this is worth nothing now, but in 1,000 years it'll be priceless. So I need to start doing push-ups and sit-ups and eating salads more so I can live to see a day where any of this is worth a goddamn thing. So it's kind of fun though. George Brett, that's just a little. That's something I got out of a cereal box type of deal, I'm pretty sure. But I mean, the last time I looked at this, I was in fourth grade. For some reason, I distinctly remember that. So I don't know if that's worth anything or if that's, I'm the only one who's got one. But should somebody watch this, you know, let me know. Bo Jackson, if that was a regular card, that would, right on, that'd fetch me more money. But it's the Little League pictures. I couldn't recall where I got that from. I always loved those Expos uniforms. Those 80s style Expos uniforms. And now that's a team that I don't think exists. Alright, huh? I'm not going to do this forever. But what I'll do is I'll just, every now and again, I'll come back and revisit this and make a playlist of it. But I've got some basketball cards. I need to look at those for some like Michael Jordans and whatnot. And I've got football cards. But what I did with the football cards, I was much more into football than baseball, and stuck with that more. I played in high school and junior high, and I took the football cards and got binders and divided up by teams. Mark McGuire. There's an early Mark McGuire. Didn't even look like him though. He's got those arms though. That should be the same damn Mark McGuire. So, but that's an early Mark McGuire, and looks like that's in decent shape. Not mint, but decent. Roger McDowell. I recognize that name. But the football cards are not only divided by team, I divided by position. And I know I got like some Urlachers in there, maybe even some rookie Urlachers, and some Steve Young, stuff like that. Much more connoisseur about football. And then I ain't rich, but I've been struggling for a lot of years with finances and stuff, and I got the car paid off, like I mentioned, and making a little bit more money than I'm accustomed to, and having a little bit more just like liquid cash to, say, go pick up $30 in video games here and there, something like that. And for a long time, I got away from, because I kept moving around all the time, so I got away from physical media. Now I'm getting old white guy, so I'm like, I want to go get some Blu-rays and DVDs and such and build up a collection. But there's a Daryl Strawberry. So then a little bit of corner damage here, but that might fetch me $20 or something, maybe. The heck was I saying? You distracted me, Strawberry. You were in a Simpsons episode. Oh, so I know a lot more about football than baseball. I was saying that. So I got some football cards, basketball cards, baseball cards, and then a few very miscellaneous just collectibles that fell in, came across my desk that I never really paid attention to, but it's time to go look through these old cards and see if they'll fetch me $1. Oh, so what I was saying earlier, some of my finances are a little bit better than they've been in a long time, so I might get back into collecting cards again for the first time since the early 90s. Something that I think I did maybe even up until high school, certainly I think in middle school I was still collecting. There's a Sammy Sosa, but that's that Dunross, I don't know. But it's a 1990, so very early Sammy Sosa. Might be worth a little bit of something. I apologize. I keep losing my thoughts for anybody watching this. But there's so the value of these cards now that so many years has passed, to my understanding, has been going up, and there's more demand for it. So like in the 90s and late 90s and early 2000s, everything went from like sports to more like Pokemon. I know that. And so these weren't, worth a penny in a nickel. In the late '80s, early '90s, I remember going to these places. People just had mountains and mountains of these cars and would sell them stuff. And um, but they flooded the market. There's another Randy Johnson like that one. The market just got flooded, so of course the value fell off a cliff. Then the demand died out late '90s, early 2000s, but now the demand is back up, and so just like those collectible video games I mentioned, less and less people have them sitting around because maybe they get thrown out and that kind of thing, and people are getting interested in them again, and so there's demand. So I've been seeing some stuff online and YouTube channels dedicated to these things, and just in the last few days kind of got interested again my own self. So we're sitting here doing this as a byproduct of that. But I might just do this like once a day, and it will take a month. If I go do this for 20 minutes a day. Barry Bonds, there we go. So there's an early Barry Bonds card before steroids, obviously. So yeah, just perusing through these. I might have a few Greg Maddux. And none of these look in mint shape, but most of them aren't in the worst shape. So yeah, but I mean, if Don Zimmer, oh, what a character! Like everybody else on the planet, I wish I could go back to when I was a kid and say, "Hey, dummy, take better care of these," and then time between, actually study up a little bit. Eddie Murray. I don't know if that's worth anything or not. And keep an eye on what has value, because the thing that'll happen is what was I just saying? I lost my train of thought. The value fluctuates and changes, and so I'll just do this for a few more minutes. But okay, so here's some basketball cards I didn't even know were in here. So there's BJ, and that looks like a pretty early '90s kind of card. Larry Bird. It's kind of a generic. I don't know NBA hoops what that would fetch. Pippen, Karl Malone, MJ. A little bit damaged. But like I was saying, I'd love to go back and tell young me to take just a little bit better care of these, because they're not all in the worst shape, but just like that little bit of damage right there. Could have handled that a little better. And of course, the better quality shape they're in, the more value they have. Dennis Scott, another MJ card. Will Purdue. Oh my gosh. Scotty Skiles. This is taking me back. I followed this era of basketball. So there's a hockey card out of left field I knew more about, and Luke Longley. That's cool. And it looks like that's in pretty decent shape. That's cool. Cool looking Luke Longley card. Oh, sorry, getting out of focus. Wake up, camera. Scotty Pipp. That was Larry Johnson. Greg Hodges. Man, this bringing back memories. I'll tell you, that's one kind of fun part about it having them is just going back to, this is just a classic period of time in basketball. And growing up in Northern Illinois, of course, I was following the Bulls. They were winning championships. There's Pippen, looking pimping. Patrick Ewing, he's a good, great player. For the Knicks, Tim Hardaway. A lot of these might actually be worth a few bucks. Might be a little bit of money sitting here. Pippen. And again, like I was saying, it'd be fun to get back into this. But I wish I could go back to me at 5 years old and say, hang on to freaking everything, because it's all going to be worth something when you're closing on 40, with 39 next month. And don't go to college because you're just going to be paying student loans. This is Charles Barkley. This is actually more interesting for me, at least, than I thought it'd be when I cracked these open. Really, I just didn't want to get out of bed and do anything. I don't want to walk all the way over there and sit down and do a video game review or a live stream right now. So we're doing this because I'm lazy. That, and I have a physical ailment I'm going to stop mentioning out of respect for people. It is a little bit painful. That was kicking my butt at work last night, but I took a leave and it felt better. So we're going to do this for just a few minutes more, and then I'll mark my spot with something, and I'll come back another. If you haven't followed the show before, I work graveyard shift. Anybody work graveyard shift, will tell you at times, man, it's hard to get to sleep sometimes. So sometimes I come home and pass out right away. Sometimes I'm kind of awake, and I think I fell asleep for like 2 hours, and now I'm awake. There's another BJ card. Can't even read what some of those names are because of the font and the light. Yeah, kind of groovy. I don't remember purchasing these. I don't know how I think at one point somebody did just hand me a bunch of cards. And there's Tony Kukoc. Underrated player. He's a very good player. But it's a trip. This is like accessing different parts of my brain. Things I'd forgotten that I even had these cards. I remember just, either purchasing or just Gary Payton. He was good. Reggie was good, of course. There's the guy I was looking for, Johnny Stockton. And that looks like it's in pretty decent shape. That might fetch me a few bones. And then I'll take some of the earnings and go get a new smartphone or cell phone. You better camera, you jerk. Well, Purdue again. I think I'll do this for about 10 more seconds. This camera is freaking with me, and so is my physical ailment I won't mention. But I'm going to stop here. But if you're watching this and you know thing one about cards, you want to see more, or you're like, hey, you passed up that one card that's worth us something, let me know. Comment in the comment section, that kind of jazz. But I do have some more baseball cards in here. And then if you throw me $5 on Patreon, I'll actually clean this room up because it desperately needs it. But while I have you here, if anybody's watching this, that's me, fat guy. Look out. So there's my football cards. If you can see that in the light. These are all football, and then there's some baseball and basketball and hockey mixed in there with some various collector cards. So I have this work to do and a lot of cleaning. Oh my golly, need to get this done. I clean this room. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next one. Cheers.